How to deal with the now what? Have you ever achieved something huge, something you poured your heart and soul into, only to wake up the next morning and think, now what? You hit the goal, the confetti has fallen, everyone has congratulated you, and yet unexpectedly you feel a bit empty. Psychologists actually have a name for this. They call it a success hangover. And feeling empty or let down after a big accomplishment is super common. So if you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. In fact, our culture almost sets us up for this feeling. We live in a culture of next. We live in a hustle culture that worships the next goal. You know the drill. You finished a marathon, great. When's the ultra marathon? What's next? You hit your sales target, awesome. Now let's double it. Let's make it better, bigger. Our society, our friends, even our own inner voice can be obsessed with always going bigger. One expert put it bluntly: there's an obsession in our culture that we've got to push and go bigger. No wonder then that the moment we achieve something, we feel we should already be chasing the next thing. We barely take a breath before asking, what's next? And if we're not careful, that pressure can steal the joy of what we just did. We end up feeling like we've accomplished nothing that is really good enough because there's always another mountain to climb. But here's a radical thought. What if the best response to now what isn't find a new goal right away? What if instead of immediately sprinting toward the next summit, we paused to actually enjoy the view from the summit that we have just reached, from the goal that we just obtained? Embracing the pause. Let's think about that as a new perspective. Think about it. Why do you feel so uneasy when you're not chasing something? High achievers often find the chase more comfortable than the finish line. After years of striving, downtime can feel like a shock to our system. We're so used to feeling busy that stillness feels wrong, even though that stillness might be exactly what we need. Research shows that taking a break after a big push isn't lazy, it's healthy. In fact, spending time on a plateau allows us to regroup and recharge and take a break that's beneficial to recovering and getting ready for what comes next. Without one, you risk burning out. So, what if now what could mean now rest, now reflect, now celebrate? This isn't about complacency. It isn't about not getting things done. It's about intentionality. And it turns out this idea of pausing to appreciate and renew isn't new at all. It's woven into ancient wisdom and faith traditions that uh, many of us forget. Lessons from scripture after the high. Take a moment. Let's look at a few examples. Even if you're not religious, these stories carry a powerful principle for all of us: creation and rest. If you remember the biblical creation story, after 6 days of creating the universe, even God paused. It says God looked at all he had created and he was pleased. Then on the seventh day, he was tired and he rested. He stopped to look at what he did, and it was good. One commentary puts it this way: God did not cease from his labor, he stopped and enjoyed what he had made. We need to stop and enjoy the fruits of our labor. The whole point of the Sabbath is joy in what God has done. Think about that. The work was finished, and it was time to savor it. If the Creator built a pause in the rhythm of life, maybe we should as well. Let's think about the story of Jesus retreating. Fast forward to the life of Jesus. There is a scene where he just performed an incredible miracle, feeding thousands of people with just a few loaves and fishes. The crowd is ecstatic. They want to crown him king on the spot. If it were us, we might bask in the applause or leverage the momentum into our own move. But Jesus did the opposite. Jesus, knowing that they intended to come to him and make him king by force, he withdrew to a mountain by himself. He stepped away from the spotlight to pray and recharge or regroup. In fact, the Gospels note that Jesus often withdrew to lonely places uh, so that he could just recharge and uh, get back to the business of the Father. Even at the height of success and acclaim, he took time to be alone, to rest, and to reconnect with his purpose. Do you see the pattern? Rest, retreat, reflection. They're baked into the journey of meaningful work. After the high of accomplishment, a holy pause is not just allowed, it's wise. It's during these pauses that we realign with our purpose, with our true purpose, and recharge our souls for what comes next, whatever that is. What do you do in the now what moment? So you've reached a milestone and you're asking, now what? Let's talk about how to respond in a way that honors what you've done and prepares you for what's next. Here are 3 practical steps. And yes, they're productive in a deeper sense. 1 is honor the achievement. First and foremost, celebrate what you've done. You didn't get here by accident. Remember all those late nights, the sacrifices, the faith, and the effort you invested. Don't forget those things. Our culture may say, don't dwell, move on, keep it going, but take a moment or a season to dwell in gratitude. Be thankful for the success, honor it. Throw a celebration dinner. Get together with people to celebrate your victory, your win. Share the story with your team, your family. Let them celebrate you. Celebrate together with them. As one article wisely noted, instead of immediately chasing the next thing, stay in the experience. Dwell there. Honor, embrace what you accomplished. In scripture, it is like taking a Sabbath, ceasing work to delight in it. Give thanks to God for the strength to reach this point. Reflect on how this achievement has shaped you. By honoring the win, you affirm that all the work meant something. Like the psalmist says, be still and know that I am God. Sometimes we need to be still in the victory, acknowledging it and giving credit to the one who gave us breath to pursue it. Reflect on your purpose. Use the now to reconnect with why you started the journey in the first place. It's so easy to get caught up in chasing goals for their own sake. Now that you've reached one, ask, what was this really about? What did you learn about yourself, your calling, your purpose? Are you fulfilled? If not, why? This is a great time for prayer, journaling, heartfelt conversation with mentors, friends, family, your spouse. In the Oprah article on post goal letdown, expert Stephanie Harrison advises integrating your achievement into your identity. In other words, see the success not as a standalone trophy, but as part of an unfolding story of your life's purpose. One thing builds on the other. Maybe this achievement confirmed that you're on the right path, or maybe the process revealed a new direction. Take time to clarify that before rushing ahead. Proverbs 19 and 21 says, Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. In the quiet after accomplishment, listen for that purpose. You might find that the next is not just a bigger goal, but a deeper understanding of what truly drives you. Number 3, reconnect with your identity. Go beyond productivity. This one is big, especially for entrepreneurs and go getters. When you're in pursuit mode, it's easy to tie your self worth to your productivity and success, but you are more than your work. Now it's time to remind yourself of that. Now's the time to take off the achiever hat for a moment and just be you. The friend, the parent, the human being created in God's image. Spend time with loved ones who couldn't care less about your accolades or accomplishments. They care about you. That's the most important thing. Remember, anyone who cannot rest from work is a slave to a need of success, to a materialistic culture. Ew, that hurts, right? When I first read that, it hit me hard. If we cannot stop and take it in, we are shackled to the next win. But the good news is it doesn't have to be. Jesus offers an identity no accomplishment can give and no failure can take away. He said, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Rest is the gift. Rest is what we need. It reminds us we are human beings, not human doings. Your value in God's eyes is not based on your latest achievement. When you reconnect that truth, you can approach whatever comes next from a place of wholeness and not desperation. Yeah, let that sink in just for a minute. Now, to conclude, now what? Now this. So, how do we deal with the now what? We embrace it. We answer it not with frantic activity, but with purposeful pause. We rest knowing that rest is part of the journey, not the end of it. We reflect on what our achievement means in the bigger picture of our lives and our calling. We reconnect with who we are beyond what we do. And guess what? When you do these things, now what? Stops being a scary question. It becomes an invitation. It becomes now, look how far you've come. It becomes now, who have you become through this? It becomes now, what does God have for you next in His timing? Those are the questions to ask. Those are the things to ponder and to sit on. Picture a runner who just finished a marathon. Instead of immediately signing up for a longer race, she sits down. She wraps herself in a foil blanket, drinks water, and soaks in the cheers from the crowd, her family, and friends. Maybe she even cries tears of joy and relief. That pause doesn't make her less of a runner, it makes her a wiser one. When she's ready, she'll run again, fueled by gratitude, purpose, and a clear head. My friends, we need those full blanket moments in life, moments to say, it is very good. What I did was very good, and I want to uh, bask in that for a moment. Moments to retreat to the mountains by ourselves to pray. Moments to stay a long time with our tribe, our family, our friends, and just enjoy life. Far from derailing our success, these moments anchor it. They prevent the high of the achievement from becoming a hollow addiction for more. They allow our souls to catch up with our accomplishments. So the next time you find yourself asking, now what? Give yourself permission to answer. Now I rest. Now I rejoice. Now I renew. Trust that in doing so, you're not falling behind. You're gearing up for the next step, a bigger step. A bigger challenge means a bigger accomplishment. And as you honor what's been achieved and listen in the quiet, the true next mission will reveal itself. Your calling, the vision God has for you. Until then, sit in the moment without rushing past it. Your life is more than an unending to-do list or trophy case. Savor this chapter before you write the next one. Now what? Now celebrate. Now be still. Now know that He is God and you are His, and that is enough. God bless you. We'll talk next time.